Hi, welcome to Go with Yin Yoga, and today's short practice to introduce you to ways to make caterpillar pose more comfortable. All we're going to be doing, we'll do a short centering, we will do a short Savasana at the end, and in between we're going to do a lot of different variations of caterpillar. You don't have to do every variation. In fact, this is a video that I suggest you return to time and again and find the caterpillar that is right for you in whatever moment you are in. So let's get started. Go ahead and gather up your props. I've got a rolled up blanket. I've got a bolster. I've got a couple of blocks, and we'll be using all of those. If you don't have those, that's okay too. So come to an easy seated position. Maybe taking your hands onto your knees. Set an intention for today's short practice. Maybe that's finding a variation of caterpillar pose you didn't know about that feels really good in your body, or perhaps one of the props that I offer throughout this practice makes you feel better in caterpillar than you have before. Caterpillar pose is very calming to your nervous system. It can help you to switch from your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight, flight, freeze, into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest, or your tend and befriend. It is associated with the bladder meridian. Before we get into caterpillar, I want to do just a little bit of movement. In winter, we tend to, some of us anyway, tend to be a bit less active, and we can feel really tight and just stiff and maybe a little achy. So a little movement is a good thing. A big breath in and a soft breath out. Another big breath in, drawing in inspiration and a big breath out, letting go of anything you don't need to keep with you. One last inhale and one last exhale. With your eyes open, if you close them. I'm currently sitting up on a block, and I do suggest that, or you can be on a rolled up blanket or a bolster. All of those options are good. We're going to start with just some simple seated twists. So inhale, allow your spine to straighten and lengthen. Feel as though you are a tree growing out of your pelvis, and your legs are the roots. And then inhale. Take your hand, one hand to your right knee, your left arm to your right knee. Take that right arm behind you. Again, inhale. Grow taller. Exhale. Begin to twist right from here. Not from here, not from your neck, but from your core. Okay? And breathe. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, maybe you twist a little further, and maybe you don't. Just wringing out any stale energy in your body. And then on your next inhale, come back to center, pause. And then let's move on towards the left side. So your right hand is on your left knee, and your left hand is behind you. Inhale, spine elongates, grows taller. Wouldn't that be nice? Exhale, maybe twist a little further from your core. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, maybe just a little movement. Maybe you stay right where you are. One last time. Inhale, stretch up. And exhale, twist. And on your inhale, come back to center. Go ahead and take your hands into Anjali Mudra, palms pressed together, and then bring them out and then dive them in, so we're making kind of a heart gesture. Do that down in the lower 3 chakras underneath your belly button. Inhale, make the top, and then you come down. Next inhale, bring it up to your shoulders, down, making hearts. The theme for this month is not self-love. And then next inhale, big heart, really big heart. But knowing that you are lovable just because you exist. And the affirmation I am offering you today is I am loved. And okay, let that go. Deep breath in and deep breath out. As you move through this practice, follow that breath. One last move before we move on to Caterpillar. Take your left hand, bring it to your mat. Inhale the right arm up and over your head. Again, trying to really come out from this pelvis, making yourself taller. Reaching for the other side. Exhale, that arm comes down, other arm comes up. Inhale, exhale, left arm comes down. Inhale, right arm comes up. Reach, 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 reach across. One last time each side. Reaching towards your right. And then reaching towards your left. And coming back to center. Coming back to your center. Maybe taking your hands onto your heart. Taking a brief pause. Noting how you feel in your body. Noting any shifts that may have occurred for you in your body, in your thoughts, in your feelings. Okay. So, I'm going to show you Caterpillar pose without any props to begin with. You can join me or you can just watch. Caterpillar starts with seated, legs out in front of you. And take your hands by your upper legs. Palms can be up, knees can be bent. And then you slowly begin to come forwards. If you're familiar with this forward fold in a regular Western yoga, it's Paschimottanasana. And typically most people are really reaching for their legs, right? Their legs, their feet. Really, it's important to people. I must be able to reach my feet, right? It's silly. You don't have to, especially in Yin Yoga. We're not even trying to reach our feet. We're just trying to find that edge, that feeling of sensation in our target area, and that is mostly in our low back. Bladder meridian runs up the back of the body. It's the largest meridian in the body, as a matter of fact. It comes up the back of your legs, goes up your back. So you just come in here. So that is classic Caterpillar pose. Now you'll notice the moment I have a straight back. If you have low back injuries, of course, first check with your doctor. But if you get the okay, you may want to keep your back straight like this rather than allowing it to round. Listen to your body, listen to your doctor. I am not a doctor. Now, if you do have lower back discomfort in Caterpillar, I'm going to suggest that you sit up on something. I've got a rolled up blanket here. I'm going to move over, and then I'm going to sit on my rolled up blanket. The idea is to get your hips higher than your knees, and that can make this a more comfortable pose for your low back. Takes out a little bit of the hamstrings. And the hamstrings will pull on that low back and can create discomfort. So that is one thing. This isn't high enough, grab a block. Still not high enough, a bolster is just fine. So then you're just coming back into that same caterpillar pose. Except now you have a little bit of height. Not a lot, but a little bit. But make it the amount of height that you need. And you'll see me looking at my board so I don't forget anything. And this is also good if you have sciatica, to be sitting up on something. You may want to be cautious with this caterpillar pose if you have sciatica. If that's the case, there are a couple of poses that you can do most likely more safely. So in that case, if the height of sitting up on something doesn't help you, excuse me, you can come into a very simple legs up the wall. Imagine there's a wall behind my legs, right? It's not exactly the same as caterpillar, but it is getting into the back of your legs and not so much stimulating the low back, which if you have sciatica might be a good thing. This is also one of my favorite calming poses, especially when you're tired or you've worked out really hard or you've been traveling. Okay, and then I have one other. You're not going to be able to see my full body, unfortunately, but dangling pose. Okay, so dangling pose, you come standing up straight and then slowly pulling your core in at first. Allow yourself to reach down towards the floor. So you can see how this is really caterpillar, but standing up. So we're not putting as much pressure on our back. There's a couple variations there. You can do caterpillar so that your back is against the wall. That's another variation you can do. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, where are we? So another thing we can do with caterpillar pose, we can bring our upper body into it a bit, getting back up on my rolled up blanket. So you come into your caterpillar and begin to come forward, fold forward, back straight or back rounded, knees bent or not. And one other thing you can do with the knees, if this is very uncomfortable for you, grab that bolster. Let your knees come over the bolster. Bolster might be too much, in which case you can do a rolled up blanket under your knees. You could even take these blocks and put it under your knees. Be creative. When you're working with props, when you know that, excuse me, a pose is not comfortable in your body, but you feel like it's beneficial to you, you can get a little creative. See? Just put a couple of blocks underneath your knees. Not foam blocks, not cork blocks. You can use cork blocks, but they're not going to be comfortable. Okay. So you've got your nice props, you're comfortable, and you might want to put a blanket over the blocks. That could make it a bit more comfortable as well. One of the things you can do is just cross your hands and hold on wherever they come to. Maybe give yourself a little rub because you're coming down to where stomach 36 and stomach 40 are. Stomach 36, great for energy, good for your immune system. Stomach 40, really good for phlegm. So while you're here, why not give them a little rub? But we're really not targeting the stomach meridian today. If that seems too much and you don't want to come down so far, give yourself a little hug. Hold on to your shoulders. I am loved. Never think that you're not good enough because you can't touch your toes or you have to bend your knees. It's not what yoga is about. When you allow your knees to bend, that may also help discomfort in the low back and the hamstrings, especially if you have tight hamstrings, which I don't really too much, but you know, it's pretty common. You have a lot of good company if you do have tight hamstrings. Another nice move you can make, which in case you don't need your blocks under your knees, is to take a bolster or roll the blankets, put it on your legs. Very soothing and calming to the nervous system. So if you have a lot of anxiety, if you're worried, if you're fearful of something in the future, this is a really nice calming version. You can also turn the bolster this way. That's another one. I don't think I mentioned the benefit. One of the benefits of caterpillar pose can be better digestion. And that's mainly because we are compressing our stomach, giving those internal organs a little bit of massage. Okay, and another thing you can do while you're here, you can take a couple of blocks. These are a little bit too high for me, but so you can allow your head something to relax on. So 2 is too high for me. 1 is about right. So if I wanted to allow my back to round a little, and I wanted support for my head, this is a great option. It's also you getting into your third eye, very calming point as well. We're going to stay in this one just a little bit. It just feels so good to me anyway. Go ahead and come on up. Remove that bolster. Take the blocks, put them in between your legs. Again, if you want to round and put your head onto a prop, you can take the blocks, put them into a T. So one is vertical and the other is horizontal on top of the vertical block. Now this can be a little tricky with some foam blocks. They're a little lighter, they move a little easier, but again, very soothing, very calming. And again, to come out of caterpillar pose, take props, put them off to the side, turn your palms down to your mat, slowly press into your palms, straightening out your spine, and then walk your hands back to your torso, and then behind your hips. Good little counterpose. Just take your hands behind your hip. You're essentially in staff pose here. Allow your heart to open, a little mini back bend, also very soothing to the nervous system. Few quick breaths here. And then bring yourself back upright. Remove any prop you may be sitting on and begin to move into a short Savasana. I'm going to sit up. Now, if you're moving through a practice and you just did caterpillar pose, you might do a short rebound in Savasana for like a minute, just to absorb the sensations from the pose. But for now, we're taking just a little Savasana. It's been a very short practice. I'm also going to say that a good pose to pair with caterpillar pose is butterfly pose. Kind of ironic, really, since caterpillars turn into butterfly, where you take the soles of your feet together and you allow your knees to come out to either side. You can also be reclined butterfly pose. That's another nice pose to pair with it. If you really feel like you don't want to do two forward folds in a row, which caterpillar and butterfly are, you could pair it with Happy Baby. And I have a video about all the variations of Happy Baby as well. Okay. Allow yourself to draw inside. Maybe revisit your intention. Get a lot of attention to our low back in this practice. And then just allow yourself to be still and just be until you hear me speak again. Invitations to stay in Savasana for as long as you'd like. Take that break. Give yourself as much time as you can. But if you are moving into the rest of your day, allow your breath to deepen. Reconnect with the breath. Begin to take small movements to wake up that body. Maybe turning your head from side to side or nodding it up and down, moving fingers and toes. Taking a big stretch from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes, going over to one side, and in your own way and in your own time, coming back up into an easy seated position. Inhale, take the palms of the hands together in front of your heart, pressing your thumbs into your heart center and nodding your head over your hands. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you be free from pain and suffering. And may you allow some calm and soothing into every day. And slowly blink your eyes open. Thank you for joining me. I think I covered everything I set out to cover. If you like this little tutorial, mini course, however you think of it, go ahead and click the like button. If you'd like to practice with me again, go ahead and click the subscribe and the bell. And right about now, there'll be a link, a little thing to a Yin Yoga practice that includes Caterpillar Pose. It is a winter practice. It is Yin Yoga for hips. Everybody loves working on those hips. And you should also see a playlist. It's going to have all of the other pose breakdowns that I've done so far. I think I'm at like 15 or 16 maybe. There's a lot. I've done quite a few. I realized the other day that I haven't done Caterpillar, and I know for Caterpillar can be uncomfortable for a lot of people. So I hope that I have provided you with a variation or a prop suggestion that's going to make it more accessible and comfortable to you. But for some of us like me, I actually do find it to be very comfortable and very soothing. Great pose to do before you're going to sleep. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful, calm rest of your day.